In today's video, we're going to look at working with text strings and the functions that are designed to work with text. We'll start off with a fairly simple example. If you have text which we have listed here in column A and we want to make it uniform so that it is either lowercase, all uppercase, or what's termed as proper case, which is capital first letter and lowercase after that. The function is very straightforward. It's type in equals and then the text you want to adjust. So the text I want to adjust is in cell A3, close bracket, and press return. And JOE is in lowercase, and fill down, it all becomes lowercase. To make it uppercase, it's UPPER, bracket, the text I want to adjust, close bracket, press return, and Joe becomes uppercase, as do all the other text in column A. And then finally proper case equals proper, select the cell, close bracket, press return. So it's capital first letter and lowercase after that, and fill down. Now I included the name McDonald because you just have to be wary of one thing when using the proper function. It capitalizes the first letter and makes all following letters in lowercase. This is actually incorrect for a name such as McDonald because it's capital M lowercase c, then it should be capital D ONALD. Now you can manually adjust this after the function, or you can manually adjust the original text. So if I put a space between the C and D of McDonald in column A, space, and press return, McDonald gets adjusted accordingly and it works correctly. The next text function I want to look at is the search. So search function looks for a text character or a text string. So the syntax is equals search. So search for, we want to search for the text fox in the string in A1, close bracket return, and 17. What this means is that it has found the first character in the text string fox in position 17 in this text string. And if you count the characters from the T, including the spaces, to the F of fox, the F occurs in position 17 in this text string. The function search searches for text items but is not case sensitive, so I've deliberately put fox in capitals and it has still found it. There's a very similar function called equals find, and that is case sensitive. So if we did equals find fox comma A1 in exactly the way we've entered here, it wouldn't return anything. It would have hash value because the case in the formula didn't match the case in the text string. Now you might be wondering at this stage, well, what much use is this particular function? And on its own it's probably not a lot of use, but we'll see hopefully in a few minutes that ways that it can be useful. Another simple function is the len function, which returns the length of a string. So the syntax is very simple. It's len, open bracket, text string, press return. It returns 44, and all that means is that there are 44 characters including spaces in this text string. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Now let's play around with a few names and text functions. The first thing to look at is if we want to generate the first initial from a name, we can do this by using the left function. Equals left, highlight the text string and close bracket, no other entries, and returns J for Joe Murphy, M from Mary Jones, the M from Mark Smith, and the M from Matthew O'Connell. So that's how you can, very simple way of generating the first initial. We can generate the first three letters from a name by using the same function. So if I do equals left, open bracket, text string A2, and then I do comma and 3, close bracket, press return. It returns the first three characters from the left side of the text string. So it returns a J, the O, and the E to display Joe. And if I fill down, it returns MAR, MAR, and MET from those names. So that particular function is useful, but only up to a point. It's useful for everybody with a first name of 3 characters, no more and no less. So how do we make the function dynamic so that it will return the correct number of letters for person's first name? Well, if we look at the names listed, the first name has a characteristic, and the characteristic is that there's a space after the first name. So what we can do is we can search for the position of the space after the first name. So let's use our search function again. So equals search. This time we're going to search for a space, and in spreadsheet language that is shift and quotation, spacebar, shift and quotation, comma, text string, close bracket, press return. And it returns 4, it returns 5, 5 and 8. So what that 4 represents is the position of the space. So the space occurs in position 4 in the name Joe Murphy. It occurs in position 5 in the text string Mary Jones and the text string Mark Smith. And the space occurs in position 8 in the text string Matthew O'Connell. So with this information, we can now generate the first name. So we do this by doing equals left, and the text string, comma, and the space after the first name 4, and we'll do -1, close bracket. The -1 is because position 4 is the position of the space, so we want one position less than the space. Press return and returns Joe, fill down, Mary, Mark and Matthew. Now we've generated this over 2 columns. You can generate it in a single column. So if I do equals left, the string, comma, search, open bracket, shift, inverted commas, space, close inverted commas, comma, A2, close bracket, -1, close bracket. Similarly, we can use the len function to provide the length of the entire string. So 10, 10, 10 and 17. So 10 is the number of characters including spaces in Joe Murphy, 10 in Mary Jones, 10 in Mark Smith, and there's 17 characters including space for Matthew O'Connell. So to get the last name, we could do the function equals right. So we want and it's cell A2, and this function will take characters from the right of the text string, work right to left. And so we have to tell it how many characters from the right to take. So we'll take the length of the entire string minus the number of characters from the space between the names, close bracket. And that returns Murphy, Jones, Smith and O'Connell. And again, we can put this into a single formula if we wish. So equals right, A2, comma, len A2 minus search, open quotes, space, open quotes, comma, A2, close bracket, press return, and it returns Murphy, Jones, Smith and O'Connell. Now we'll look at concatenate. Concatenate does the opposite of what we've just been demonstrating. It joins 2 text strings or more together. You can use the function equals concatenate, or you can also use the ampersand symbol highlighted here. They do exactly the same thing. So using the ampersand, I can type in equals, and we want to join these names Joe and Soap. So if I click on B2, shift and 7, which is ampersand, and C2, and press return, that gives me Joe Soap, but it's wrong. Okay. And similarly here, if I do equals comma, soap, close bracket. Again, it's wrong because there's no space in Joe and soap. Well, we can correct that. Let's try again. So if I do equals B2, ampersand, then shift and quotes, space, shift and quotes, and ampersand again, and C2. So what this is saying is join the text string in cell B2, attach a space, and then attach the text from cell C2. And now I have Joe Soap correctly formatted. And similarly, if I do equals concatenate, take the first text string from B3, comma, shift and quotes, space, shift and quotes, comma, C3, close bracket. So take the first text string from B3, then add in a space, and then take the second text string from C3 and join them and you get Joe Soap. Final thing to look at is using the value function and the text function. The value function will take a text element and return return it to a value, trying to make it a value, and the text function will take a value and create it into a text and format it in whichever way you want. So equals value, open bracket, taking the text element, value A2, just changes that to 123, and the text formula will take a number, so B2, comma, and then the format. So the format goes in quotes, so if I do open quotes and the dollar symbol 0.00, close quotes and close bracket and press return, gives me 123.00. You will note that this number is naturally aligning to the left of the cell, which that indicates that this is indeed text, and this value here is aligning to the right of the cell, which indicates that it is a value. Now the significance of those two things are, you could do a mathematical operation on this number in column B, but you couldn't do a mathematical operation on this number, on this value in column C, because it isn't actually a valid number. Thank you for watching.